There is nothing inherently wrong with submerging yourself in the popular pond of mainstream entertainment. I occasionally dip my toe in as well, but overall, I'm a man of eclectic taste. My passions and proclivities extend far beyond the experience or even knowledge of the lay. A veritable Renaissance man, some have called me. An insufferably pretentious prick, so have said others. Well, not to extol my hipster cred in an unseemly braggadocious manner, but I like music. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Good gravy, could this random YouTube jackass be any more cultured? The answer is no. No, he could not. And so, rather than hoard knowledge, I've decided to gift you all with a few musicians I've come across on YouTube over the past year that I quite like. Broken Peach. Despite them being around for several years, I was introduced to Broken Peach last Halloween when their cover of Blondie's One Way or Another floated across my YouTube recommendations. I gave it a watch, and I dug it. I love the fact that they make the cover their own with clever new instrumentation and simple but very attractive added harmonies. Great bridge replacing the original's instrumental section. I'm gonna meet you, I'm gonna get you, it's gonna be daylight. I'm gonna get you till the sunrise, I'm gonna get you feel the moonlight. And a very cute personalized outro. The costumes are striking, and the infectiously energetic performance impresses with choreography that's somehow simultaneously manic and cohesive. I was thoroughly entertained. So I moseyed over to the Broken Peach YouTube channel, perused its videos, and was delighted to find that many of their covers are secret medleys. For example, their cover of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance transitions to Poker Face using the chorus from Queen's Radio Gaga as a bridge, which is just disgustingly clever. Also, I really admire that the video descriptions aren't limited to a simple credit for the covered songs, but usually a short paragraph with a little extra history and context. In addition to covers, Broken Peach also has a bevy of original songs, many with fully produced music videos. And because the group is bilingual, their videos come in both English and Spanish versions. And they don't just shoot them in one language and dub in the other. They go the extra mile to record the singing in both languages. And if that weren't enough, they also have live performances, behind-the-scenes content, Q&As, and even the occasional skit. Oh, and when the ladies wear bodysuits, so do the gents. Hats off to you, sirs. Well done. And that's Broken Peach, a band that answers the question that has plagued humanity since time immemorial. Just how much tongue can be used to articulate a single word? That much. 8-bit music theory. If you had to guess, what would you imagine the theme of a channel called 8-bit music theory is? Yep, it's teaching music theory through the lens of retro video games. A great way to ease a potentially large audience into a, let's say, Byzantine topic. Seriously, even if you're genuinely interested in the subject matter, music theory can be dense, off-puttingly complicated, frustratingly labyrinthine, nigh unfathomable. So why bother? Because music is cool, and theory helps us understand and articulate why it is cool, which often leads to an even greater appreciation and enjoyment of it. But not only is music theory a pain in the backside to learn and understand, it's a pain in the front side to teach. But 8-bit music theory pulls it off with aplomb. Each video covers a single topic and craftily employs beloved retro video game tunes to illustrate what he's talking about. He even takes the time to transcribe each track so we can follow along with the sheet music as we listen to the examples. And while 8-bit does not shy away from proper musical nomenclature in his discussions, don't let that scare you off if you don't read music. He has a knack for marking up his scores in a way that helps a lay audience follow along, even when the minutiae of the discussion can get a bit complex.
The Dorian mode is a minor scale with a raised 6th scale degree, and it's quite possibly the most versatile of the 7 major modes. Some instances of the Dorian mode in action evoke a cool, mysterious vibe. Some make a grand, epic, heroic statement. Some feel dark and distant, while others feel downright playful. It all comes down to how the characteristic raised 6th is treated.
And then he goes on to provide a bevy of illustrative examples. Now, you might notice that none of these video games are actually 8-bit. Well, 8-bit music theory ain't shy about using music from more modern games if it helps elucidate his video's chosen topic, and that's a good thing. You want to know the reason Professor Layton music sounds like Professor Layton music? You want to know some of the technical tricks behind Stray God's interactive songs? You want to know why Bakamitai slaps, actually? Then let's not let pedantry get in the way of good branding. Gico Sop. Cover artists. Sometimes you just want to sing a song the way it was originally performed. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fun. But my favorite covers are the ones where the artist implements their own take on an existing work. Browse the YouTube music scene and you'll find cover artists reinterpreting songs in every style from metal to barbershop. Which brings us to Gico Sop, who covers a lot of anime and video game tunes in an operatic style. And while I, admittedly, am not the biggest fan of the form, like rap or yodeling, I have great respect and admiration for the skill it takes to do it well. Plus, I don't believe I've seen a dedicated opera cover artist before. And that's nifty. Also, I love this woman's aesthetic. The hair, the makeup, the outfits. Hers is a unique and striking look that adds a lot of visual interest on top of her vocal performances. And while that's enough for me, to those for whom opera is quite alien, they may still hesitate to cannonball right in, and that's understandable. Enjoying something completely new can be difficult if the experience doesn't sport some touchstone of familiarity. And that is where style covers shine. They allow audiences to explore new types of music without stepping completely outside their comfort zone. While you might feel lost listening to some random aria, if it's a melody you already know and enjoy, maybe Neytiri's song chord from the new Avatar movie, that might be just the foothold you need. And if that's still a bit of a leap, start by dabbling in what I would classify as pop opera, such as the Diva Dance from The Fifth Element, Fertile Rondo from Bayonetta 3, or the main theme from Super Smash Bros. Brawl, all of which Gico's covered, in addition to a recent 4-quadrant pop song.
Peaches, 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 I love you.
Opera has a reputation for stuffy self-seriousness, so you might be surprised to find it ranges in tone from super serious to outright goofy. Remember this adorable little viral vid?
Happy, 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 happy.
What if someone did an operatic cover?
Happy, happy, happy.
Did you notice she went to the trouble to multi-track in a harmony part? Yeah, she does that too. So maybe opera isn't your bag, but if you're open to trying new things, Gico Sop's covers may just be the gateway that introduces you to a whole new genre of music. CLMC music. Everyone loves a good pianist. Read script aloud before recording. CLMC Music is a pianist who primarily covers movie and TV themes from the 80s and 90s with a focus on mashups like Gremlins and Ghostbusters. Or Predator and Terminator, or Indiana Jones and the A-Team, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and DuckTales. I'm in my 40s, so this is squarely in my nostalgic wheelhouse, but aside from the primo song selection, I find his arrangements solid and the various theme combinations clever and a ton of fun to listen to. In other videos, CLMC remixes individual themes into a different style, my absolute favorite being his Halloween-themed love ballad. The piano is a super versatile instrument, and it takes a lot of skill to play well, but it's maybe not the most exciting thing to watch. You're stuck in one place, and unlike with, say, the drums, your arm and leg movements are comparatively reserved. So, if you're making YouTube videos showing off your pianism, what can you do to punch up the visuals? CLMC's solution is dual keyboards, swanky mood lighting, filming from multiple angles, and adding dynamic camera movement and transitions in the edit. That's a bunch of extra work, but it goes a long way towards keeping the eyeballs engaged, so it's much appreciated. But there's one more thing I get a kick out of, and that's the differences in how he and I play when it comes to hand position. CLMC not only holds his fingers flatter than I do, but he rarely ever uses his right pinky, instead favoring the ring finger. That's not to say he's doing it wrong. As long as you're producing the correct tones with the proper timing, you're golden. There's no real wrong way to play. We all have our own personal preferences and techniques when it comes to fingering. I better underline this one. Astor Rhymemaster. If you're my age, you probably loved Disney's The Little Mermaid when you were a kid and annoyed the adults in your life with your gleeful and unceasing atonal renditions of Under the Sea. If you saw the version from the recent live-action remake, you probably sobbed naked in the bottom of your shower stall for 7.5 hours. Having an emotional response to art comes naturally. Understanding why we feel that way? Not so much. That's where creators like Astor Rhymemaster come in. Her videos offer critical evaluations of show tunes with a focus on song lyrics, which is not as narrow a topic as you might expect. While she does have an entire theory video dedicated to the subject, Miss Rhymemaster has more to evaluate than just rhymes.
Then the most obviously wrong part of the song comes in. Ariel sings along. In the original, it was the other sea creatures that sang along. Ariel doesn't care for the ocean. Why would she be the one singing along and celebrating what she doesn't want? Yes, Hallie sounds nice, but it narratively doesn't make any sense, and these songs are part of the narrative. They're meant to give us insight into these characters, so being contradictory for the sake of sounding nice goes against the whole point of the concept of a musical number.
Astor's critiques touch on everything from the rhythm and emotion of a delivered line to how instrumentation and visuals can alter the effectiveness of the lyrics. And these critiques are bolstered by comparing the live-action performance to the animated original. Explaining why something doesn't work is very instructive, but further contrasting it with examples of what does work helps solidify understanding. Which is great for new versions of existing songs, but what about originals? In these cases, Astor savvily accomplishes the same ends by providing examples of songs with similar musical goals. For example, she compares Magnifico's lackluster villain song in Disney's recent animated feature Wish to the stone-cold classic villain songs from The Princess and the Frog, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid. The original. Yeah. She has a whole other video examining the remake's rendition of Poor Unfortunate Souls. While most of Astor's videos cast a critical eye at songs she feels, on balance, drop the musical ball, she is refreshingly clear-eyed about the fact that her critiques, informed as they are subjective. Thorough and well-explained analyses like Astor's provide unique perspectives which help us examine and understand our own reactions to art so we can more easily form and articulate our own opinions, which lead to more fun conversations and less naked shower crying. RafScrap. There are innumerable different ways to execute a song cover. But can a musician's changes go too far? Let's play Name That Tune.
She's such a dream, the most beautiful girl that I've ever seen. All of my world revolves around her, and all my nights alone grow colder and colder, Sandman.
While RafScrap's slow-tempo minor key version is very different from the ones popularized by the Chordettes and Four Aces, it's still recognizably Mr. Sandman, and that's not the easiest tightrope to walk. She's managing a super tricky balance between changing an existing musical work enough to give it a whole new flavor, and changing it so much that the character of the original piece is lost. So here's RafScrap rewriting an entire verse of Poor Unfortunate Souls from Disney's The Little Mermaid.
The hearts of men are swayed by glamour. My dearest, you'll be worshipped and adored. They'll be dazzled and concerned by a girl who can't be heard and left the sea to be part of their world. Come on now!
That is a big, bold move. But the new lyrics don't fundamentally change the song. While the words are different, they're communicating the same information. What's changed is Ursula's approach to cajoling Ariel, which gives the landmark villain song an interesting twist on top of the new vocals. Speaking of which, same key and octave Pat Carroll originally sang it. Nice. And I would be remiss if I failed to point out RafScrap's groovy animated art pieces that accompany her videos.
She will be mine, or she
Did you notice she altered the straight quarter note rhythm at the beginning of the phrase and changed the penultimate note from the fifth of the key to the seventh? Talented cover artists can change notes, rhythms, lyrics, tempos, and keys, all without rendering their version an unrecognizable mess. But they can also add things like vocal flourishes and even brand new harmonies. Even ones that arguably don't belong.
sing once again with me, our strange duet. My power over you grows stronger yet.
Many Phantom fans will listen to that and say, "Ooh, that tickles my tympanic membranes in a most delightful manner." Others will say, "How is the Phantom harmonizing with herself? Strange duet indeed." And yeah, as good as they sound, as cool as they are, in a staged performance of Phantom, those added harmonies wouldn't make any sense. But this isn't a stage performance, it's a cover on a YouTube channel, so the change in venue gives Raf a lot more latitude. Is it enough? These are the tough calls musicians must make. Will an altered melody, new lyrics, or added harmonies yank the listener right out of the song, or spark Marie Kondo levels of joy? Who knows? Music has guidelines, but not rules. You go with your gut, you do what you think sounds good, and you see how people react. That's art. As for me, when it comes to the creative choices made by musicians like Broken Peach, 8-Bit Music Theory, Gico Sop, CLMC Music, Astor Rhymemaster, and RafScrap, my reactions have been overwhelmingly positive. I've greatly enjoyed exploring each artist's oeuvre, I'm pleased as punch to have them in my regular viewing rotation, and I look forward to seeing how they change and grow over the course of their musical careers. As for you, all of their channels are linked in the video description, and I highly encourage you to check them out. Art is subjective, I can't make any guarantees, but you never know. You might just find a new favorite. Hey all! Starting at noon Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, November 2nd, I will be live streaming video games for 24 hours straight to raise money for Rady Children's Hospital as part of the Extra Life charity event. Check the video description for the link to my event page where you can make a donation and see what I've got planned for this year's show. Hope to see you there.